I really didn't want to cover this, but it's driving me a little bit crazy. See, I'm not a fan of Tekashi. I don't like his music. The only reason I even know about this artist and this story is because of the incessant clickbait coverage just being shoved down my fucking throat. So I believe that I have a basic knowledge of events, and from all of the various perspectives I've seen covering this, I have not seen the most obvious take of all time, so I'm gonna give it to ya. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Shed Show. Please subscribe to my channel even if you don't like my content. So this video is about the rainbow-haired phenomenon known as Tekashi 6ix9ine, but it's also about snitching in general. So let's start from the start. Okay, so Tekashi is a young up-and-comer in the rap game. He creates a completely stereotypical gangster rapper image, and he ends up getting basically adopted by a gang, right? They give him street cred, which is important in the rap game, you know, makes his shtick more legit, and they basically manage him and like take who knows how much of his earnings. Now, I mean, Tekashi is of course responsible for his own actions, for getting involved with this gang and participating in violent crimes with this gang. And as far as I can tell, he's made a lot of bad decisions, and there's really sufficient evidence to just kind of write him off as a bad person, but not really in like a hard ass like gangster kind of way. He's just acting the role of a gangster like most rappers, but he gets involved with some actual gangsters and they have no respect for him. And I mean, from their perspective, how could you? So they're pimping him out, getting paid, everything's good for a minute. But of course issues arose in this relationship, possibly as Tekashi was rising to stardom and maybe growing out from under the thumb of his pimps. He wasn't just any hoe though. This is their bottom bitch. And whatever it was that ultimately made them unhappy, they acted as a ruthless pimp might. They fucking kidnapped him and assaulted him and humiliated him and robbed him for $800K. They went into his home while his daughter and her mom were there and robbed all his shit. Can you imagine the stress of worrying about your fucking daughter in that situation, dude? It's a nightmare. And if you've watched the video, it makes your stomach turn. Like, this is the part of the story I feel like people just ignore, and I don't get it. So he escapes the car and runs for his life, flags somebody down, and he does go to the hospital, but I can't find anything about him going to the cops at this point. It's not really relevant to my point whether he started cooperating now or later, but at this time, in appearance, he was still like rolling with this same gang, which looks very much like a forced relationship at this point, befitting Tekashi's claims that they were basically just taking everything from him. Once again, Tekashi was a hoe, and these gangsters were the pimp, and pimps make you work and they take all of your profit. By the way, I make this comparison for the sake of argument, but I have to clarify that the situations I'm comparing this to are far more rampant and also different in crucial ways. But alas, the comparison works for all intents and purposes. Tekashi was being robbed, dehumanized, and terrorized by those closest to him in this gang. His loyalty was forced subservience under threat at this point. Then Tekashi and like 5 other members of this gang, they all get picked up on a RICO case. And now Tekashi is looking at serious time. This is when someone's loyalty to their criminal organization is fully tested. Do you honor your agreement and stay true to your pals, your gang, or do you become a rat and get shamed into exile? What's the right thing to do in that situation? Well, it doesn't matter, because that's literally nothing like this situation. This is where I see a huge disconnect in people's brains regarding this story. It's driving me crazy. I mean, am I missing something here? How are the ones that betrayed Tekashi the good guys? How is Tekashi in the wrong for telling the truth about what happened? Is he supposed to protect those guys and be loyal to the gang? Like, what the fuck? If anyone is suggesting that Tekashi owed any sort of allegiance to this gang that completely betrayed him, your values truly baffle me. And yet I see hordes of people calling him a rat. And yeah, most are just jumping on the bandwagon, but I feel like a lot of people just really have adopted certain values without thinking them through. Snitching cannot just be like condemned full stop. The circumstances matter. Context is important. This kind of like blanket disavowal of all snitching is insane. The only people that would have benefited from Tekashi, being a soldier or whatever the fuck and not talking are the people that were terrorizing him. He's supposed to just give up his whole life all in the name of never snitch no matter what? Like, that's ridiculous. This is a false virtue created by manipulative, abusive people. And yet it has somehow seeped into our culture. And I'm seeing a lot of people piling on this kid, labeling him as a rat, labeling him as someone not to be respected. And once again, this is all because he snitched on the gang members that fucking betrayed him. He told the truth about criminal activity. Yeah, he cooperated. And in return, he gets a chance to have a life. Dude, good for him. Dude, if you turn on me, if you rob me, if you kidnap me, assault me, put my family in danger, I mean, obviously, fuck you. Obviously. Look, snitching has negative connotations for good reason, especially amongst criminals. If you're part of an illegal organization, willingly, and you get picked up, you don't jeopardize the entire operation just to get a shorter sentence. I mean, I agree with that. That's an honorable code. Now, the gang I'm talking about here, if they do have a code or any sort of value system, it certainly didn't apply to Tekashi. He was a victim, straight up. Who knows what all has been said behind closed doors, but as far as what has been publicized, Tekashi is he's just copped to the crimes that he was involved with, and he's told the truth about it. He hasn't claimed innocence, and he didn't betray anyone because they betrayed him first. Yeah. So as far as like just no snitching, no matter what, do not adopt this as a value. That's insane, and it only benefits horrible people. Fuck those people. I can't believe this even needs to be said, but clearly it does. If you are a victim of abuse, do not protect your abuser. If you see someone as the victim of abuse and cannot help themselves, tell someone about it. All right. I hope I made my point, because that's all I got for now.
Jadjf is filmed on location inside of the shed. All weather temperatures and qualities were at 100% authentic. Jadjf is filmed in front of no audience and is edited for television.